time. Listen, I've been calm this whole time.
I
told you, you're broke. And I don't want to keep doing this with you. You're broke. What are you not getting?
Let me tell you something, fellas. A lot of these women think that they're doing you a favor by being with you while you're broke. But honestly, what a lot of these women don't understand is that you basically giving these women an opportunity to be a part of the come up with you. That way, when you're successful, she could be worth whatever gift you're trying to give her. She could be worth whatever house you're trying to give her. She could be worth whatever retirement you're trying to give her. She could be worth that. But most females don't want to do all of that. They don't want to put in that kind of work. This is why now I would really say, because these women think they're doing you a favor by being with you when you don't really got the funds like that, it's best for you to just do the come up by yourself, bro. It's best for you to link up with people, work on your own come up. That way, when you get involved with these women, you don't owe them anything. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like just in the judicial system, but I'm just saying like you don't owe them anything morally. What's the point of being with a chick that you care about if she gonna disrespect you like this? The hardship men have to go through in order to get to where they want to be, it makes us build character. It makes us build confidence. It makes us understand the value and what we bring to the table. And we have to learn that because we have to go through being treated bad when we have nothing. And then we go through the development of being treated good once we do have something. So we understand the value of what we bring to the table. Y'all force us to learn that value by the assets we have to earn to get. Just cut your losses.
I identify myself as black because my father is black.
Were you raised with your father?
No, I was raised with my mom.
And your mom is white?
Yes.
So why would you identify yourself with black just because your dad's black if you was raised with your mom?
Because my mom told me that I should always identify myself as what my father is.
I think this is a beautiful sentiment. You know, you got some black people, they be 2% Indian. They be like, oh no, I'm Cherokee, I ain't black. You know what I mean? And she like, nah, I identify with being black because my father black. But I'm gonna make one micro correction. Biology, 6th grade. White genetics are recessive, black genetics are dominant. When you put a recessive and a dominant together, you're a dominant. The only way you can make another recessive person is with 2 recessive people. But anytime you mix a dominant with a recessive, it's always a dominant. It doesn't matter if your mother's black, if your father's black. It's about who has the dominant genes out of your 2 parents. Because you can have a black mother and you can have a white father, but your black mother has the dominant genes. Well, how could that be if she's a woman? It's not about whether she's a woman or a man. It's about the type of genetics that she carries. Like brown eyes, that's a dominant gene. Black hair, that's a dominant gene. Your father can have blonde hair and blue eyes. Your mother can have black hair and brown eyes, but she has the dominant genetics. That's what makes you black. It's not about the sex of the person. It's about the genetics of the person. Remember that.
I would say I just identify myself as being African American, but at the beginning, when I was younger, I used to erase everything and put mixed, and I used to get in trouble by my teachers. And they would always say, why are you putting mixed on there? You're either, black, or you're black, basically. And so I would have to say, back then I would say mixed, but now I understand that I kind of have to just say African American because that's what society breaks it down to.
Black, to be honest, because that's the side that I grew up with. So
I identify myself with black and white because my parents, well, my mom is mixed, half and half. She's black and white. My grandparents, that's white.
And let me tell you something as well. There's no such thing as being mixed. It's impossible for you to be mixed. You are whatever your dominant parent is. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. And let me tell you how it's impossible to be mixed. Because in order to be mixed, you would have to have more than 23 chromosomes of DNA. All of us have 23 chromosomes of DNA that is divided between the mother and the father. As you know, 23 is not divisible by 2, which means you cannot split 23 in half. It's impossible to have less than 23 chromosomes. And the only way you could have more than 23 chromosomes is by being autistic. That's how autism happens. When you have more than 23 chromosomes of DNA. But that's all, that's all biology. That's all scientific crap. But anyways, it's impossible for you to be mixed. Whoever you get the most genetic strands of DNA from out of your 2 parents, that's who you are. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to be mixed with half and half. There's no such thing as being mixed with half and half.
Basically, I'm multiracial, so I don't just choose one race. I just say I'm mixed, or I would mark 3 things on whatever the choices were, or I just say other.
I identify myself as being black the most. Why? For the simple fact, like, being around my white family so much, I feel like I don't have as much of a touch with my black side of the family. Later on in my adult years, I have been more in touch with them than I have with my white side of the family.
I'm mixed. I'm not gonna answer black no way.
Do you hang with one race more than the other?
I mean, growing up on the south side, you ain't got no choice but to hang out with one. So I'm consider myself black. If you put me in a category.
Exactly. He said I'm mixed. But if I had to go into a category, I consider myself black. I don't know, dude. How could you really consider yourself to be white? You could say Latin, but the thing is, you have black Latin. So somebody say, oh, well, I'm Mexican. That's a nationality. Because there's black Mexicans. I'm Dominican. That's a nationality. Because there's black Dominicans. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to Colombia. There's people in Colombia darker than me. There's people in Dominican Republic darker than me. When I went down there, man, they all look like me. For real. Well, some of them lighter and some darker. Yeah, man. If you're confused about your ethnicity, just look at both your parents. Whoever have the dominant genes, that's who you are. That's why when white people have children that are in interracial relationships, they never consider that child white, ever. If you have a white and Asian, you Asian first. You have a white and Latin, majority of the time, you Latin first. You have a white and black, you black first, because white is literally a recessive gene. So you only can have recessive children with other recessive people. There's no such thing as mixing a recessive with a dominant and it comes out recessive. It's impossible.